Bayern Munich's going to spend some big money. Let's say I give you 250 million euros. What are you doing with it to make this team better?
When I can buy Messi, I will buy Messi for 250 million, but I think this is not enough to buy him. I love this player, but Bayern Munich has to do something. They don't like to keep the money, and they saw this year was not anymore the quality in the team to make to play in the national competition on the highest level. And should they make a cut? They didn't sign contracts with players who was playing very well for Bayern Munich, who was in the last 10 years players who makes a difference, who won Champions League title, who won German championships and German cups. And I think it's time to change something, and you have to invest a lot of money. Bayern has this money, and they invest smart in young, talented player, powerful player, passion players. And I think it's the right way to come back in the highest level in the national competitions.
Lucas Hernandez, Pavard have both joined the team. Are both kind of speculated. Let's go with Lucas Hernandez. What do you think of him as a player?
Oh, we can talk about both, because both World Cup winners with the first team last year in Russia. I think they are very good defender, and they can be play flexible in different positions in the defense. And I think this is a good investment, because they are still young, and they can improve the same maybe in the next years. And I think this will help Bayern Munich to come back, how I told, to the higher level.
Coming to the end of Niko Kovac's first season with Bayern Munich, what have you made of it?
Sure, it was not so easy for him, especially after the World Cup. From the German team, we had a lot of German players who had this bad result with Germany. And Niko was my player 12 years ago by Red Bull Salzburg. And I know him very well. He is a good guy. He is focused for football. He likes to work. He has passion for this job. And he had before Frankfurt like a team, and Bayern Munich is something special, because in Bayern Munich you have big superstars, and to handle this, it's not so easy for a young coach like Niko Kovac, but he was doing this very well. On the beginning, he had some problems, but he was talking open with the players, and the players trust him, and I think he made now in the last months a very good job. He's first in the Bundesliga with his team, he is in the quarterfinal in the German Cup, and I think Niko Kovac and Bayern Munich and the players has a big chance to win the double in Germany.
When you look at Champions League, obviously a disappointing result. What do you think went wrong against Liverpool?
The team was not playing on the highest level, and when you like to get a chance against Liverpool, you have to make two good games, and not only in the defense, the same in offense. But Liverpool was not better, much more better, and for this we have to congratulate Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp and his team, and we wish them good luck to maybe win the Champions League title.
How do you think the title race will be in Bundesliga this year?
Yes?
How close do you think the title race will be in Bundesliga this year?
I think we have now the tough game between Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund on April 6th. Mm-hmm. I think who is winning this game will win the championship in Germany. And Bayern Munich has more experience in their team, have a little bit older player than Borussia Dortmund. But Borussia Dortmund make a great job this season, played very well, especially the first part of the season. And yes, it's nice to have this competition in Bundesliga, not like in the last 5-6 years when Bayern Munich was winning always the championship in Germany with 15-16 points ahead. But it's a good competition, it's good for Bundesliga, it's good for the fans, and it's good for the brand.
Do you think that maybe lack of high-end competition in Bundesliga has hurt Munich at the later stages of Champions League?
Yeah, sure. But I think a good championship is always good. The same for the Champions League, because when you win the championship so early, then you lose a little bit the focus and the concentration. And I think we have a great championship now, not only for the first place, the same to fight for the Champions League qualification, for the Europe League qualification, and the same which team is going maybe down in the second division. We have everywhere good competition in each region of the schedule.
The last time we spoke, it was shortly after the World Cup, and we're talking a lot about the German national team and what had gone wrong. In the months since, have you seen progress that you'd hope to see?
Yes, in the last game. Minimum, in the last game we get a good result. We had good games before too with young players, and I think Jogi Löw made the right cut, but for me not in the right moment, because it was very late. I can understand when he made this cut immediately after the World Cup, take out players who was playing well for the German national team, who won the World Cup 5 years ago, but he was doing this now 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, before the game against Holland. Okay, was his decision, but I think this was not the best moment. And we in Germany, we have a lot of young players, talented players. We won 2 years ago the Confederation Cup with these players. We won 2 years ago the Under-21 European Championship with young players. And I think the German team will come back soon as possible. Maybe next year during the European Championship, for me, one of the favorites for this title. Sounds not realistic, but for me it's realistic because I see the quality of the players.
You mentioned Joachim Löw's decision to retire some players. What about the manner in which he did it, to publicly retire legends? I mean, Hummels, Boateng, and Müller.
Sure, but I had the same retired. I didn't get a telephone call from the coach. I read it in the newspaper 25 years ago. It's like this, but the coach has to decide. I thought the player has to understand the decision because the coach is looking forward. And forward don't mean for the next 12 months. He's looking maybe for the next 5-6 years to build a new team with new players, with different quality of the players. And I think the coach has all the rights to change when he thinks it's the right moment. And sure, he was talking with Boateng, but what he has to talk? When you listen, you're not playing anymore in the national team. You need 2 hours lunch or dinner. No, this is a talking conversation, 2 minutes. This was not much more because you, like a player, you feel, hey, when he tell me this, I'm upset. I don't like to talk anymore with him. And I think for this was more than enough, this 2 or 5 minutes when they was talking to each other. He was coming to Munich. He was telling this to players in face to face. And I think this was a great job what he was doing. But I tell one more time, for me, the wrong moment.
Leroy Sané, how big a part of the national team moving forward do you think he'll be?
He's a great player. I think they love him in England, they love him in Manchester City, and we love him too because he makes the difference in the last 5-6 games. He plays always on the highest level, and I think he can be one of the best players in the world.
We have some really interesting matchups left in Champions League. I ask you to be a predictor here. Who do you think is going to win it at the end of the day?
My favorite before the season was Liverpool, and I don't like to change my mind.
Oh, so you're going with Liverpool?
Yeah, Liverpool, yes.
Why?
Because they have a very good coach, good mentality, and what they was doing in the last 2-3 years was excellent. They invest the same a lot of money, but for the right quality of players, and for this Liverpool was from the beginning of the Champions League, before the Champions League start, my favorite, and why I have to change now. They're in the quarterfinal, they have a big chance to go to the semi-final, maybe easy game against FC Porto, and then it's everything possible.
Lothar, always an interesting conversation. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you very much.